Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Brixtina. How are y'all? How are y'all doing? I'm doing amazing today. We are back on my YouTube channel to shoot a really cute YouTube video today. I asked a bunch of y'all suggestions what I should film, and I got a lot of suggestions to shoot a get ready with me, which I will shoot later on this week. But today I just wanted to talk about being transgender, like just all of that. I think this next couple videos will be about me being trans, because I'm just trying to put my way in as a new trans influencer. Y'all really gave me so much love and support for my trans video. For anyone who has come up vocally on the internet, I know how tough it is and how hard it is. I just did it, and it was really scary because I live my life as a woman. I do all that, but just putting yourself out there is oh my god, everyone, I'm trans. It's so scary because it's just not everyone accepts and not everyone knows what trans is. I can't even give you a definition of what transgender is. Transgender is just a term made by someone. It's just about living a true identity, and I am. So I'm really excited to get into today's YouTube video. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the medicine side of the transition, because I had a lot happen this week in my medical transition, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk how you start. I want to talk about estrogen, hormone blockers, testosterone blockers, progesterone, all of the medicines that I have taken, personal experience. I'm not really going to be talking, I will talk about a little of other medicines I could have taken, but we're going to talk about these medicines right now. But let's just have a little kiki. How are y'all? Thank you for all of my beautiful, I want to say a big thank you to all of my fans out there who really riled for me and really supported me. Again, as y'all know, I've been really suffering with depression and just really sad, and I've just been so much happier recently, and I feel like I've been getting out of my funk. I think we've realized why I was definitely sad and depressed, and I'll tell a little bit why that in this video, because that's literally what I'm talking about. But let's get into my video. So basically, people always ask me one of those questions, and they always go, how is your medicine? When did you start medicine? How long have you been on it? Personally, I've only been on medicine for about, it's July now, so about 9 months now I've been on medicine. I got my medicine in November, I think it was November 16th or 15th. I got it on my estrogen. The doctors put me on a very low dosage just because I was younger, and they're like, we don't need to throw all that estrogen in you, and you're growing, and we don't want to affect your mental, which, girl, it already affected my mental, so it was it was going to, who knew? But I got on 0.5 milligrams of estrogen, and the way you get into the process of getting to your doctors is you go online, you search up the best facility that will allow people of a young age to transition. I was only 14 when I started my transition, so I came out August 2nd, and my mom worked really hard. I got one of the best teams in all of California. I live in SoCal, so I was able to go through the transgender youth services in Irvine, which was really sweet. There, a month later after I came out, I got my first doctor's appointment. Not doctors, but Zoom call with this trans specialist who told me all about different things about transition and medicine, all different ways you could take it, like estrogen. You could take a pill, a shot, a patch. You can take different ways to put that in your body, for me personally, because I wasn't, of course, mine way was estrogen and where women had. So, and all the different milligrams and how you will transition and what will happen to your boobs and your butt, and be real, what will happen to your private parts, especially for me, since I was taking estrogen, private parts change and all that. So it was really she just told me all about transition, and she just told me identity, how you want to be seen as, how you want to be lived as, how you want to see your future self as. She was just telling me all the steps we could take and all the things I could do and what I wanted for myself. And so we chatted, and then from there we were able to get evaluations, check my body, make sure I do some blood work, and make sure I could transition right and there was nothing wrong with me, and to see if transitioning would change your body, because if you don't, because transition does change your body, and if you don't get those blood tests and you don't do those work, you don't get those evaluations even before you transition, which may be a little uncomfortable, getting naked, especially when your trans is very, and you don't have you don't feel comfortable in your body, that could be very hard, and I had to do it. And I will tell you, it's a lot, but you can get through it because life is like that. You just have to kind of go through it sometimes. And so to get to the point you want to be to, which is the transition and the medicine and feeling your womanhood and just feeling like you were the only woman, and you finally feel like you are part of this womanhood you've always belonged to. I went through all this steps leading up to November, and in November about 16th, 17th, I had my long transition period. So basically I did 3-hour consultation where they did all, just check my body, did all these analyzing on me, and I'll show a little photos, I have very little photos, but they do analyzing, and they just check yourself out, they talk to you, and then that's when they will talk about estrogen and just for me personally, my experience, they had like this long conversation with me. Like it was like a big doctor's appointment. They checked my body, made sure I was doing good. Usually, I think in my case, they would have already had talked to me about like estrogen, what my plan was, and like testosterone blocking. But since they were so booked, I think they got a little fasted. So when I got there, they're like, oh, then they I don't know. I feel like when they had got there, they were like, well, we could put you on estrogen, but you don't have your testosterone blocker, so, and maybe not do as much, especially the ounce they were putting me on, so 0.5 milligrams morning and night, so 1 milligram a day. Wasn't really like, I wasn't like really like, I'm a woman, like I wasn't like feeling like my, like, you know, it's like, I wasn't like pumping the, you know, I wasn't taking down testosterone, it was just getting my estrogen levels just high enough, because I don't know if you know this, but if you don't block your testosterone, you put too much estrogen in your body, then your body will start competing with it and make more testosterone. So that's why they always, if you're not on your like blockers, they always want like keep on like a lower dosage so the testosterone doesn't try to take over. If you haven't had any transition, if you're just going straight towards it, and that's why they do the blood testing and all the blood work, because they want to check if your testosterone level is going high, and because of transition, so like a powerful thing to your body, it can ruin your blood flow, it can cause you depression, it can cause you mental health changes, it can cause you to get blood clots and all these other things. So that's why they really focus on making sure your body's healthy and that you can go through it. My body was really great. I was strong. I was extra skinny then. I was doing great. My transition period, I was like, yeah, so I was like feeling really happy. So that day, the doctor got me on my 0.5 milligrams of estrogen, and I did not get my testosterone blocker, because this is why I will talk about testosterone blocking. Now, testosterone blocking is to stop testosterone. So your body can't create any more testosterone. All the estrogen. So when you stop this testosterone, you know, it comes from the glands in the brain. So it doesn't send those testosterone waves anymore. It doesn't send any waves anymore of like needing testosterone. Because biologically, I have, you know, like, you know, what you could say chromosomally, my body's telling me to make testosterone, but I'm taking estrogen. So once you block that, it doesn't say go make estrogen necessarily. The pills will tell your body to kind of do that, but that's why you have to keep taking the pill, because my body just can't make estrogen like that. But like testosterone, I could block it. So I blocked my testosterone to get my estrogen levels high enough. Testosterone blocking was a little tougher. I had a couple options I could have taken. I could have taken the pill method, the spiriton lactone, which a lot of trans girls take, a lot of people in the trans community take. But I also had the opportunity to take this newer drug, a very expensive drug called Lupron, which was this like, it blocks testosterone and like just stops it. Just completely stops testosterone. It will mask all the waves of testosterone that your body's telling you to create. It literally blocks everything. But it's a very severe drug, and that one has risk in like the pill, but it's so much of a better medicine. And there's risk of any pill you take. And I went on Lupron. It's a very expensive shot. I think a 1-month shot is about $3,000, and a 3-month shot is $10,000. But of course, it's insurance. Price goes a lot down, but still a very expensive shot if you don't have insurance. And it's just so real. I was able to, for me personally, the way I used the Irvine Transgender Clinic gave me this opportunity to go to this first class, transition period. So yeah, and they're really kind. So they told me all about it. We left the office, because of course I had to order the Lupron and get it there. So we were going to come back a month later, and around, I think like, it was like 2 weeks back. We came back 2 weeks later. And in December, I got my first testosterone blocker. And I got a 3-month shot in my ass. And so I was like, oh, boo-boo. It was a lot. It was a lot of work. It was a lot. So yeah, I went on my testosterone blocker, and it was like, oh, it didn't really hurt. People are like, does it hurt? Does transition hurt? No. But, and everyone's like, okay, so now you're on your estrogen. Like, what's going on with you? So I'd go on my estrogen. Again, estrogen does not change your voice. It will not do a lot of things people assume estrogen will do. Like the other, like testosterone will do. Like that'll change your voice, it'll change a lot of things. Estrogen will make you look more feminine, it'll make your face softer, your skin softer, hair growth softer, which I think is a lie. Because baby, well, it depends, I think, on the person. Because as a Latina, I'm very hairy. And I did not see any change. I actually saw my hair grow faster, and I was like, oh my god, like what? Like really? Like really? You're gonna do that to me right now? I was like, I thought I was gonna like get no hair, because girl, it was just too much. Like, it was just too much. I was like, like, what is that? And I feel like my skin is gonna dry. I don't know. Personally, for me, my experience with like a lot of things estrogen was said to do, didn't do. But it did do a lot. I love my estrogen. It's my favorite thing in the world. I would never say it. But like, I don't think estrogen merely made me depressed. It didn't change my mental health. I was doing great. Your boobs definitely grow faster. But my boobs in that first like a month, that like first like to like end of the 2021 to like that December, like last December, girl, I didn't really see any boobs changing. The only thing I did feel is that first, like the second or third pill I took, I swear two things happened. One, my private parts went numb. And second, like, just like, we're not the same. And second, like, my boobies were like, I could feel tingles. I was like, ooh, I'm getting tingly. Like, it wasn't hurting necessarily, like, it doesn't now. Like, it did, like, later on in my transition. But, like, it was like, I felt like little shocks, like, going, like, little electric pulses going there. Like, it was like the body was like, circulate right here, babe. I was like, ooh, I love it. I love how I'm talking on the internet about my boobs and my private parts and, like, my whole body transition. But no, so then, you know, I think about March, I got on more estrogen. I got about 1 milligram. So after I took my shots, it just kept getting my shots, kept transitioning, my body kept changing. I think one thing that really changed, in my opinion, was like my butt fat. I feel like I got a fatter ass. I was like, ooh, love that. But no, like, not, again, I feel like my face changed a lot. I did see like my face get more like femme, like, but again, that's also because I was growing and I'm like growing up. But again, like, yeah, like I do feel like my estrogen did a lot of work to me, and I've only been on 1 year, and it's great to see like a difference like to photos back then and now. But I also think I femmed up myself too, so that could be a big portion of it. So I'm just like, ooh. I just think it's really cool. I don't know, y'all. This week has just been crazy. To flash forward in the transition just a little bit. It's like in this past year, my transition's been like really great. I've been doing so much. I got so many different things. I've learned so many different things. I've met so many people of trans experience who are ahead of me or not as ahead of me, and I wish I knew more. And I want to meet some more trans people. I want to befriend more trans friends and talk more about this experience, because I don't really know many people who are actively transitioning. So to me, I'm posting this on the internet to have this moment of like what it was and like the feeling, the body changes. If you want to know about my mental health, that really did change. I think y'all know, and I've talked about it a lot, how after I started taking a lot more estrogen and my shots started happening a lot more frequently, and like I started getting more blockage, I definitely saw a depression happen. That, you know, I'm the queen of grace, the queen of positivity. Like, I'm always like that bitch who's like, bitch, get out of the depression, get out of it. Like, you know, you're a bad bitch. Like, you can't be depressed. Like, that's just never been me. But I got in a really bad depression, and I just, for like 6 months, I was like, for about 6 months, I've been like, in like this world of like, who am I? Like, what has happened to me? Like, I've been sad. Like, I could just be hanging out with my family, sad. And I've just been like sad. Like, and I have moments where I'm like really happy, but then I'm like super sad. So it's like, what is going on? And it got really bad. It got really bad. And this week in like suicidal thoughts, I told you last video, like got really bad. And this week I was going to get my other shot. And my mom was like, you know, Brixtina, I think it's time for you to be honest with yourself and let's really reevaluate yourself, because you're not depressed because, of course I'm depressed because of things that happened in my life and regret and shame, but you're like, but my mom was like, I think it's the medicine that's been magnetizing your depression and shame and all that. So I was like, you're probably right, probably something to do with my mental health changing and that. And so we talked to the doctors this week, and I was honest and was like, you know what, and I talked to my mom, and I had a really, because, you know, going off your medicine, going off something that's really important to you, especially in your transition, and, you know, when you're especially like I stopped all my puberty. I have 0 puberty in my body. I have 0 testosterone in my body. So it's like, it is like this thing that I'm allowing that to possibly happen again. Getting off your medicine, not all of it, also getting off my Lupron, I'll say that. It's really sad, because my mom was like, I think it's the Lupron, it's not the estrogen. Because the estrogen was fine. I was on estrogen before Lupron, and I wasn't depressed. The moment I started getting on Lupron, I started seeing like this different change in me. And maybe that's because when you transition, you just have this like change. And I don't want to get people scared, but this is my honest, I want to be honest with everyone and say, like, Lupron really did change my mental health. Like, I honestly am in shook. So I talked to doctors this week, and the doctor was like, you know, Brixtina, you were that person when you walked into my office, the doctor who like does my transition, you're the happiest girl in the world. And seeing that you're sad, that doesn't make sense to me. So I do think it's the medicine in some type of way. And he was like, you know what? And of course, everyone changes the medicine differently. Some people get really happy or get really depressed on it. I chose Lupron, and that and I think that magnetized a lot of emotions I already had. So it just, to me, like it just, for me, that medicine did something to my brain that magnetized a lot of things that caused me to spiral, anxiety, to get extra, which I never had before. And if I did have, I was really careful and really like able to like, no, I'm good, like I'm okay. And I got off of it. I'm no longer on my Lupron. We are taking a trial month, so I'm gonna get off of it. I told the doctors I want to see what happens in a month. I want to go back on it before school if I don't see a change. And honestly, can I be honest with y'all? I do see a change. I haven't been on my Lupron. It's not fully faded yet, but it is faded. I'm still taking my estrogen. I'm taking more estrogen now. I take 3 pills a day, 1 milligram. So I'm taking 3 milligrams a day, approximately. If there's like 30 days in a, if there's 30 days in a month, and I'm taking 3 milligrams in that. I'm taking 90 milligrams of estrogen a month. So now that I'm increasing my estrogen, because my testosterone is going to start creating again. So it'll start creating those waves. And there could be, and he's like, you know what, there could be a little bit of a mental, like, wow, like your body's telling you to get more testosterone, and like your body's going to start changing now again. And he's like, well, I don't want you to worry, because now that I'm off my Lupron, I can always go back on it when I feel like I'm ready. And he's like, this is a time for you to heal, find your mental health. And that's what I've been really doing. And I've been healing. I've been feeling really strong. I love myself again. I, of course, have some bad moments, but they're not as magnetized. And he was like, I think what's happening is that medicine is making every bad moment seem like the worst moment on the life. So it's just not letting you be okay. And he's like, you know what? In a month, come back. I got an appointment next month, and we're gonna come back, reevaluate my transition. I'm gonna keep on my estrogen. I'm not detransitioning. I'm not doing any of that. But what I am doing is I'm just taking a little bit of a pivot back and trying some new things. So I think what we're going to do is put me on spironolactone, the pill version of a testosterone blocker, which is not as effective as Lupron. It's much cheaper, not as effective, but it gets the job done. The majority of trans women are on spironolactone. Spironolactone, something like that. Some drug like that. So I think we're going to try that out. But right now, I still have enough testosterone blocked in me, I think, that to last me until that month date. I don't think any of my body's going to change. I'll keep you informed if I feel like the testosterone's coming back. But I'm still on my estrogen. I'm still transitioning. I'm still doing so much stuff. I'm still being a woman. Don't worry. And I'm still doing great. And that was my medicine journey on my transition. It was really, honestly, I've had a really phenomenal transition. I've had a phenomenal family, phenomenal doctors. I've had the most kind people in the world help me transition. And I just want to be happy in my transition. I want to share my transition. I want this to be a diary, because I want to look back at this in 10 years with my husband, my family, or husband or wife, and my family. Well, I don't really want a family, but we'll get a dog affair, something like that. And just say, like, Brixtina, like, remember that time you got off your medicine because you were so depressed, and like now you're so happy. And I know people, I wanted to preface this medicines will not make everyone sad, or depressed, or angry, or whatever the emotions you want to feel. This is just my experience in this medicine. It's a very hard medicine, and this is why a lot of people are like, this is why you show people a transition, because it's really hard. I was never depressed about my identity. I was never. It had nothing to do with that. It was just what other stuff in my life that's happened. I was never depressed with my transition. I was happy. And you don't understand how hard it is to go off your medicine, especially being a trans woman, because that is your life. The moment you're off that, you feel like you're missing this void of womanhood. But you have to remember, and the doctor was telling me some stuff about, like, you know, this may come back, and it's supposed to be like, you know, these like masculine traits that may start forming if you get off for a long time. And I go to my doctor, I'll call him Mr. Chef. Mr. Chef, I told him, look, I just want to be happy again. If I already know I'm going to be a fucking fabulous woman, regardless if I'm on my medicine or not. That's not what I'm traveled here. I just want to be myself again. And it was really hard for me to say that, because I know I'll be a fabulous woman, but just getting off that medicine, allowing that medicine, like that thing that you wanted so hard. Like when you transition, like I'm trans, the next step for a lot of people is take that medicine. Get you on that medicine, take it. And that's all I thought about for the first 4 months that I wasn't on medicine, but was a transgender woman. And then, like, you know, like, it was just, like, crazy. Like, you know, like, you just feel like, and then when you're on it, you're like, oh my God, I'm depressed now. But I'm really excited. I'm still on my medicine. I'm taking my estrogen. I'm still doing great. Mental health has been really strong. And I'm telling my story because I want people to know that it's okay to get off your medicine. It's okay to struggle a little bit. Look at Gigi Gorgeous. Gigi Gorgeous wanted to start a family and went on, like, testosterone, not testosterone again, but stopped the estrogen and stopped all the blockers and went back to trying to get some hormones to create that sperm again to have a baby. So again, it's not anyone who thinks like this is a derail in the transition, and maybe a little derail in the transition, but don't let it derail you. This is just a step forward. And maybe I'll go back in the medicine again. Maybe I'll try something else. Maybe I'll go on a different medicine, spironolactone. I don't know. But what I do know is that was my medicine journey. And I'm really proud of what I've been through and my journey I've had, and I'm so excited for the future of my transition, and I'm so excited to be back and happy. I know it's the first thing I care about. So everyone, I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave it down below. I have a couple more trans videos to shoot, but thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, it's Brixtina. Follow me on TikTok, it's Brixtina. I've been posting a lot on TikTok, and I love you so much, everyone. I'll see you later, and remember, trans is beautiful, and remember to just love people and support people regardless of what they identify as, okay? Be nice to people. I love y'all so much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.